What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Deadline stream. It is game week 4, the last game week before the first international break. We'll be having a look at my team, which is up on screen now. We'll be having a look and answering all of your questions as well. Before we get in, say hello in the chat. We will do the usual rounds of hellos. Say hello to everyone, all of you in early. Thank you very much. We will then do a quick round of quickfire questions to again say thank you to everyone who decides to join the live streams first and have notifications on, etc. So just like with all the videos, you get all your questions answered in the first half an hour. We'll do a quick round of questions to start off the stream as well. Today is actually the final day of my holiday. I'm still away. I'm still in Spain, but those of you, I've got, it's my last evening and I'm streaming for 2 hours to you all. So if that's not a reason to make sure you've liked and you have subscribed as well, then I don't really know what is. But let's dive in. Let's say hello to some of you and then start getting your questions in the chat as well. So we've got Trevor, we've got Rakesh, we've got Dave, we've got Dan. Good evening as well to all of the members. Thank you all very much for signing up and for joining us again this evening, despite also joining me in the members only stream this afternoon. DK, Sulja, Hamza, Antonio, Bizalek, Jesper, Elvin, Omar, Ricardo, Ua, Thina, Windy, Football Memes, Hazy, Vipin, Cyan, Steve, Brian, Gary, Ali, FPL Dark, Monkey, Plute, J-Luck, Charlie, Jacob, FPL Reactions, Darren. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all of you. So let's have a look what is going on. Thank you very much for the super chat from David. Martinelli to Mbuemo or roll for 2 free transfers after the international break. I'd probably do it, to be honest. I would probably do it. Ooh. Why can't I? Oh no. What is going on? There we go. Sorry. We are back. Richarlison needs to go, correct. Your other mids are Saka, Rashford, Bruno, Martinelli. Who would I go for? Mbuemo, Sterling or Maddison? To be honest, I'd probably go Maddison. I don't necessarily know it needs to happen this week, though. I probably would go Maddison. I've gone Maddison over Sterling. I've put the poll in the chat as well to ask whether you guys are going to be going with Maddison or Sterling. Maddison is currently coming out on top with 58%. 15% of you are going Sterling, 13% of you are going both, and 15% of you are going into the game week with neither of them in the team. So we'll keep an eye on that poll as well. But let's do some of your questions now. Let me check. I've tweeted it out. I have. How are we doing on? Cool. So my mic is covering. Oh, that wire is very tight. That should do it. So when I'm playing on wildcarding, Harry, probably wildcarding going into game week 8 or 9, but it's not impossible that I decide to hold it longer than that. One of the things that I think plays a big part in that wildcard is what happens to Mo Salah. If Mo Salah leaves, that game week 8 wildcard becomes less important because a lot of the reason you need it is for the Liverpool fixture swing. Now, you can probably just buy in the likes of Luis Diaz, the likes of Darwin, the likes of Jota, Gakpo into our teams. But if we need to go and buy Mo Salah for that fixture run, then it does require a little bit more squad structure thinking. So you'd have to, because this is my team, and if I need some space for my mouse. This is my team, and if I wanted to go and get Mo Salah in, right, I'd have to sell Rashford to go and buy him, but I'm still quite short, and there's no real obvious way to maybe go and free up some of that money. So I'd have to do a few things, maybe like Saliba downgrade, maybe Mbuemo as well, maybe it's Maddison as well. So there's quite a few things that I'll have to do. But if it's Mo Salah, then I can just, if there's no Salah, then I can quickly just do Rashford to Luis Diaz, for example. It becomes much easier, basically. Opinions 4.0 Nunes Tavares from Forest. He should start, I think. Although they've been playing Ola Aina there. And as a Chelsea fan, I have to say, I've been pretty impressed with him when he was in a Chelsea shirt. So I don't necessarily think... I'm gonna he's gonna go in straight away, but he may well do. Max, good afternoon, evening. I'm not actually. I'm flying home from holiday. My girlfriend will be there, but she's a Forest fan as well. But no, I will be there from. I think it's like the one game this season that sadly I miss. You already own Foden. Would I do Rashford to either Maddison or Sterling? I mean, I prefer Maddison over Sterling. I'm going to feel like I'm going to say that a lot of times during the stream. I prefer Maddison over Sterling. There's not that much in it. Is the chat working? Let's try it. Let's refresh it. See if it fixes it. Would I do Rashford out? I don't necessarily think Rashford out is needed, no, to be honest. I don't think, I'm not sure I'd sell. I'm not going to sell Rashford this week. So... yeah, I don't necessarily think it's needed right away. What I think on Maddison captain, I don't really understand why you wouldn't captain Haaland. Do I have the data? Yeah, look at this, right? Expected goals conceded so far this season. It is off a low sample, right? Only 3 games played for the teams. But Fulham, 9.85 expected goals conceded. The next worst is Sheffield United with 6.88. Which is, crazy bad for Fulham. Over 3 expected goals conceded per match so far for them. Opinions about Nuno Fazara, Jackson, Antonio or Wisa. I still favour Jackson. Maddison to Matoma to Maddison or Roll. Yeah, so the Brighton one is an interesting one. For those wondering, those with João Pedro, it looks like João Pedro will probably start this week because there's no Enciso, of course, and Danny Welbeck has also been ruled out. So last week's issue where they played Ferguson and Welbeck together and then they didn't play João Pedro can't really happen this week. The only possible situation is they try and find a way to play, I don't know, someone else at Cam, like a Gross or a March, and then play Ansu Fati out on the wing. But I don't really see them doing that. I think that would be a strange thing for them to decide to do. So if you have João Pedro, although I don't think he's a great option, he's likely to start. And if he does start, he will be on penalties as well. So there's not that much to worry about with João Pedro. If you have him this week and you're starting him, I think he should start for Brighton this week. So this is my final team. So I have one free transfer. It's still in the bank. I'm not 100% certain I'm not going to use it. There are a few places that I do potentially want to use transfers going forward. Do I think I need to use one this week? Probably not, but am I certain of it? No. I think I'll probably end up rolling the second transfer now. I know I said in my team selection video that I will probably sell Pickford, but the more I look at it, and I saw a tweet about it today which changed my mind on it a little bit. They play Sheffield United, Luton, Bournemouth and Brentford in game week 6. And of course you play Turner next week when he's got Burnley at home. So so Sheffield United away, Burnley at home, Brentford away, Luton at home, Bournemouth at home. The fixtures are really nice. If it's still really not working, let me get up a separate transfer page so I can flick between them. Yeah, the one I'm interested now in is actually Nick Pope, because those Newcastle fixtures from game week 6 look really nice. So there's a chance that I decide to just hold on to Pickford for now and then go Nick Pope in game week 6, or even after the international break, and just bench him against Brentford and play him in this run. Because I do think starting to invest in Newcastle defensively is a good idea. Going forward, I think Champions League will cause a crazy amount of rotation. I basically wouldn't advise... Hang on, this screen looks really weird, doesn't it? I'm sure you can't even see everything going on. Is that better? Still needs to come in a bit more. joys. I can't wait to be back home and have 2 screens. But until then, there we go. That's better. So what was I saying? Yeah, Nick Pope. That's probably why I'm actually going to favour saving on to Pickford, because I do like the idea of starting to invest in Newcastle, and I think Nick Pope in goal could be one of the ways to go. Now, he is 6.6 million, but he is a great goalkeeper, and the defence is one of the strongest in the league as well. So I want to see a couple more games with them. It looks like Botman will be back after the international break as well. So what about Ederson? So the issue with Ederson is if you haven't bought City defence now, it's probably a little bit too late. Now, they will keep clean sheets against teams that are, red on the difficulty or grey on the fixture ticker. But if you look if I'm not buying him this week, West Ham away in game week 5 is not great. Then I'm looking in game week 6 and all the way down to game week 15. Yes, they have a good couple in 6 and 7, but that's when the Champions League is starting, right? So I know Ederson's going to play them all, but the others might not. The defence might rotate, which makes them weaker defensively. And looking at those fixtures, that is, not necessarily a time that I think I really want to own Ederson going forward. Arsenal away, Brighton, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, Villa. It is a horrible, horrible fixture run. I need to check when I think it's after game week 19 is game week 19 the final one that you could play the wild card for, and it is possible that you use it because City blank in game week 18, right? You could use that as an opportunity to wild card, so you bring in loads of Man Cities there if you can hold it for long enough. But that being said, big fan of Pope. He's 5.5 is the only thing. Lennox, thank you for joining as a mid-tier member. Please do send me a message on Instagram or on Twitter and I'll get you added to the members-only group. I'll send you the links to the YouTube playlist where there is weekly members videos and weekly members streams as well. So thank you very much for joining. Will I do any transfer? You have to go. I can't say for sure, but I think I'm going to end up rolling the transfer on this one this week. I think taking 2 into the international break, starting to invest in Newcastle, does give me an upper hand on potentially saving a wild card until later on in the season. So wild card plan, either game weeks 8 or 9, or I try and hold it all the way up until game week 19 or so. So it might depend on what Mo Salah does. And if Mo Salah leaves, then a late wild card is much more likely. But for now, I'd probably say game week 8 or 9, but I don't think it's necessary. Sorry. So, let's do those quickfire questions that I said. Should I hold the RB? Absolutely. Start Udogie or Superman? I'd start Udogie over him. Do I even blink? Sorry, I know. I stare at the camera too much. Pickford to another keeper or Foden to Maddison? I wouldn't sell Foden. I'm pretty sure Foden's going to start tomorrow, I think. I am trying to predict Pep there, but I do think he will start. If I had Odegaard instead of Martinelli, would I still transfer him out? Yes, I think Odegaard is actually a worse option than Martinelli at the moment. His underlying data is really poor when he plays in a midfield 2 with Havertz. His data is not good. So I'd probably look to sell Odegaard. 1 free transfer, Martinelli to Foden or Roll. I prefer Maddison and Sterling to them, but I still probably would sell. I would probably sell Martinelli this week. How am I doing? Well, love the hair. Oh, thanks. I've actually just had a shower because I need to go straight out for dinner after this one. As I said, final night of the holiday. Would I consider bringing in Mbeumo over Sterling? I probably would. So in my 5 players to top buys that's going around in the corner now, or just gone around in the corner, Mbeumo is actually top, and I almost think he's a better option than both Sterling and Maddison, to be honest. If you don't have Sterling and Maddison, if you don't have Mbeumo, I'd really consider buying him. The fixtures short term are still really, really nice. Who to bench? Gusto, Stupinan, and Doggy. I'd bench Stupinan, to be honest. So, yeah. The Stupinan and Brighton are leaking chances, right? If we look at, again, expected goals conceded, they are... Remember that when we started the season, we were like, oh, Brighton have 3 great fixtures to start the season. Luton, West Ham, Wolves. And they've had the 3rd worst defence in the league over that run. That's cause for concern, to be honest, for De Zerbi and the Brighton team, that their defence has been that weak. Which is why I don't love starting a Stupinan this week. Now, the attacking threat is there. He is very good going forward, but there's never a chance they keep a clean sheet. And I posted about this as well. Do I see him keeping a clean sheet in this run? Do I see them keeping a clean sheet at all until game week 9? Like, maybe at home to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth's attacking data... it's not great, actually. 3.3. I mean, Brighton have the best attack in the league, but they have more XG than City, United, even Villa, who have scored a lot of goals. So I don't love their defence at all. And if you own any of their defenders that isn't a Stupinan, I would definitely sell them. So start Bulldog or a Stupinan. Probably Bulldog. He looks like he's staying. Should start. Would I do Martinelli for Maddison from -4? No, I probably wouldn't take hits this week. There's not going to be many people taking hits, and taking hits this early on in the season is, a bit of a step back for you, I think. Sell Saliba in order to fund Mbuemo. Yeah, I'm happy to sell Saliba, to be honest. He's one I'm not that set on holding that much longer, if I'm honest. Gvardiol or Stupinan, probably... you probably have to play the City one, but he's not in the predicted City lineup, Gvardiol, this week. So maybe a Stupinan based on that. But if both were to start, then you'd want to play the City defender. Watkins to Jackson, I probably would. Would I do it for -4? Just being asked in the chat as well. Watkins to Jackson for -4. Probably not. Again, -4s at this stage, and we don't know. And I don't think Jackson's going to go exploding and with points over the next few weeks. So I probably wouldn't do that for a hit. Sanchez to Flecken. Sanchez may lose his plays. I'd be surprised if Sanchez loses his plays. Things like that, and people who are owning Johnston as well, I would just hold on to them until it becomes an issue. Don't make stuff an issue in your team unless it's actually an issue. So if you've got those sorts of players, you've got Turner and you're thinking he might lose his plays. I don't think he will. Sanchez, you've got Johnston. Wait for it to become an issue. Almost everyone has 2 goalkeepers this season. So wait for it to be an issue before making the transfer rather than doing it now. I'm not going to do the goalkeeper transfer. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to make... my back. I'm not going to make another transfer, I don't think. I think my team is pretty well set up for this week. Would you roll this week if this was your team? Or would you make a second transfer? Would you buy Sterling for Rashford? Would you go defensively? The thing is with the defence is actually the defender that I want. If we go and get... look at the fixture ticker from game week. So what are we in now? Game week 4. Can you hear my mouse clicking, by the way? Is it far enough away from the mic? Can you hear this? Hopefully not, but let me know. If we have a look at fixtures from game week 4 to game week 10, like game week 5 to game week 10, like those Newcastle fixtures become really, really nice. So defensively, I want to be investing in them. Villa's another one, but with Europe, it's difficult. Like Matty Cash, but is he going to play every game? Probably not. That's the other one that I'm looking at as well. So I am probably going to hold off a week and then start buying Newcastle players next week. That is the transfer plan at the moment. Matoma, Rashford, Pedro to Sterling, Maddison, Visa for a -4. I'm not sure that Pedro to Visa is worth the hit, if I'm honest, given that Pedro is very likely to start this week. Matoma and Rashford to Sterling and Maddison for 2 frees. To be honest, I think I would just do Matoma to... I don't think you need to sell Rashford for one of Sterling or Maddison for a hit, basically. I would do Matoma out, definitely, probably to Maddison, who's my favourite. Then I'd probably do... Like, Pedro out to Visa is fine for free, but I definitely wouldn't do it for a hit. You can, but it's okay. You can hear it, but it's fine. All right, I'll click less, but I appreciate it being fine. You've got Gabriel and James. Which one to replace and who for? You have Chaël or Stupinan currently. Definitely sell Gabriel first because Reece James is rumoured to be going back into training over the international break and could be back as early as game week 5. So I probably would hold on to... If you've got this far with Reece James, I'd hold them now, to be honest. You can hear, yes. Okay, I'll click less. Is Pedro worth starting? If you've got no one else, then yes, I do think he'll start because there's no Welbeck and there's no Enciso. So start Visa or Jackson. You have to start Jackson, I think. Chelsea do look really good. It depends if you've got Sterling. Now, if you've got Sterling or Mbeumo, that might impact your decision. You might not want to double up on the attack. So if you've got Mbeumo and no Sterling, or you have Sterling and no Mbeumo, it might impact your decision a little bit. But on the face of it, I'd start Jackson. Is Foden a good choice to bring in for a Richarlison? Foden's a really nice option this week. So I think City, let me know the score predictions for Man City Fulham in the chat, based off the fact that Fulham have got the highest expected goals conceded of any team in the entire league so far this season and are 3 goals worse than anyone else. So let me know what you predict. But based on that, City could have an absolute field day. Anyone not captaining Haaland, I question you. I think 6-0. Jen has just said the same in the chat. I think it could be 6-0. I think City could absolutely punish them, to be honest. Archer in, bench Rashford. There's no way I'm starting Archer over any of them. 7-0, 2-0, 4-0, easy. Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, I mean, Archer's great, but he's not going into my team, right? It is Everton, but I think I'm going to roll that. I can show you what my future transfer plans look like. Was doing a lot of planning with my team today, so I can show you what it looks like over the next few weeks. You're scared of Foden Hall, aren't we all? But in game week 5, when he's then benched, it's then like it evens itself out. So thoughts on Brennan Johnson to Tottenham as an asset going forward? If he starts, I mean, I wonder if they start him over Richarlison and actually start playing a more fluid system, because I don't think Johnson's necessarily a great finisher. But is he better in all aspects than Richarlison? Probably. Is there anything Richarlison does better than Johnson? Probably not. So he could go straight in, and then he just uses him as a sort of fluid striker, and a bit like Harry Kane, where he links the play a little bit more. I'm not saying Brennan Johnson is anything on Harry Kane, but using your last free transfer on Watkins to Jackson, or go with Alvarez. I'd go Jackson. I think Jackson is the better long-term hold. City will punish us for not owning them this week. I'm sure they will. I'm sure not owning Alvarez, I'm sure not owning Foden will hurt this week. But I think it's the better move going forward. So, I think it's the better move going forward. Thank you all very much for joining, by the way. Almost 2,000 of you in here and only 200 likes on the stream. Sure, we can get that up to at least 300 likes. And if you aren't already, please make sure you're subscribed. We are doing our best over the course of the season to hit 100k subscribers, which is a dream. I cannot tell you. We are about 20,000 away now, so we're not planning on hitting it during this stream. But if you do want to help me on that journey this season, then please do make sure you've liked and, of course, subscribed as well. So, Gvardiol or a Stupinan? Probably Stupinan. Am I rolling the transfer? Yeah, let me get something up, and I will show you why I want to roll the transfer this week. So for anyone who's followed me for a while over last season, and to be honest, not last season, the season before, which are the real OGs, you know that I love to hold my wild card as late as possible. Sterling and Watkins, or Rashford and Jackson. Rashford and Jackson probably. Is Foden a good choice to bring in for Richarlison? Yes. Chilwell for -4 as you have no Chelsea defenders. It depends who you're selling. It's probably good to do it at some point, yeah. But is it worth it this week? Maybe not. Can I captain Bowen away at Luton? No. I'm the best content creator in your opinion. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway. In terms of what I want to do with my team over the next couple of weeks, it is doing my best to save that wild card. And I do think it's very, very possible. I don't think the fixtures... People talk about the Game Week 8 fixture swings. And although I think they're there and I think they're good, I don't think they're big enough to necessarily stress about. So going into Game Week 5 with 2 transfers, I plan on probably doing... Where are the players? Ooh. That's probably quite small for you, but let me put these in for now. Not Pickford. Maybe Pope, who I do like, and doing Kabore to Botman. I was wondering why I couldn't afford it, but that's because I've already done Martinelli to Maddison. So... Now, whether I do both of those over the international break, it says I've used 3 transfers. I will have enough transfers to do that. It's because I've done the Maddison move this week as well. I will, of course, I'll probably play Turner. And that looks all right. Udogie will start over Stupinan. Things look pretty good there. Pretty happy with that for next week. Like keeping the double Manchester United at home to Brighton, Maddison and Sheffield United. Like that team looks great next week. So I'm actually just using transfers on my bench as long as Botman is going to be back. Ooh, interesting. So anyone who doesn't follow Sam C345, big on transfer news. João Palhinha won't join FC Bayern Munich apparently, which means he should be back. And if he doesn't go anywhere, he should be back for Fulham this weekend, which will mean the Man City attack. Like Fulham are completely 2 different teams when he's in the team. Without him, they should 6 or 7-0. With him, it might only be 3 or 4. So an interesting one about whether you buy Foden or not, if he is going to end up staying. But then my team looks really nice there, right? Happy with that. And then going into Game Week 6, straight away, you suddenly have got, double defence in here. Botman can come in and Stupinan can come in as well, right? Things start to also look really nice there. Plus, I would have an extra transfer going into Game Week 6 as well. So adding double Newcastle defence is something I'm really looking at. Now, I don't have a route really to go and get Trippier, but he is quite expensive, and I do think my squad looks pretty nice without him. And it would mean, I hope, that I wouldn't really have to touch my defence until I then wildcard. Like Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton, Spurs is a pretty solid defence, I think you'd all agree. Maybe not. Like I don't have a City defender, but apart from that, I'm pretty happy with it. And that means I can then just use my transfers on the attack. And it doesn't leave me much in the bank, so I would be, downgrading somewhere. Ross going for Sterling. I knew he would. Sterling is such a Ross pick. And Maddison is such a Harry pick, to be honest. I wasn't surprised that that's the way. The only thing that I thought Ross might do is go Foden. Sterling versus Maddison is a really interesting one, and they're playing at the same time again as well. But yeah, so this starts to look really nice again, right? I could roll the transfer. I've got a lot going on here. Fixtures are really nice, and I'm pretty happy with that. We could potentially start Stupinan away at Villa or Saliba there. Game Week 8, the defence looks pretty reasonable again. He comes in against Luton, and you bench him against Liverpool. Like things look pretty solid. So that's the plan, that I plan on rolling my transfer and then starting to add a couple of Newcastle assets going forward. You will have noticed in those transfer plans that I have no plan on adding Newcastle attackers into my draft. Because I just think when the Champions League starts, given their group is PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, Newcastle, that there will be too much rotation for us to want to buy them. And I'm not, like people say, oh, they won't rotate, they won't rotate. It's rotation that you probably won't even notice being rotation. So it will be things like it'll be Trippier to Livramento. It will be like Isaac to Wilson. It will be Gordon to Harvey Barnes. It'll be like Dan Burn to Lewis Hall. It'll be little things that are actual changes to the lineup, but they're not big, like weakening to the lineup. So I think it will happen. Is it a good idea to start Areola this week? Yes, probably if you've got him actually at home to Luton. I probably would. Yeah, Palhinha to Bayern is off. Yeah. Who is expected to start for City defence? I do have a predicted lineup thread. So for anyone who doesn't follow me on Twitter, I really would say it's a good idea, but you do with it what you want. So you want Man City. There was a bit of an issue posting the thread basically, but so who do we want? Man City. Here we go. So this is our prediction for the Manchester City defence this week. Gvardiol's not in our prediction. Edison, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Akanji, Rodri, Kovacic, Alvarez, Foden, Doku over Grealish, potentially, and Haaland. But yeah, that's our prediction. So it does mean if you're buying Foden, Alvarez, great. Diaz is still the most nailed on City defender, along with Kyle Walker, who continues to play. But what I think of Reguilon and Amrabat to United, I can't say I know loads about Amrabat. Reguilon's a good signing. Yeah, Reguilon is a good signing that I think strengthens for them. Sorry, for anyone who didn't see my other tweet, I was lucky enough to record on the FPL show earlier. Look at me, there I am. And it's being broadcast on TNT, the new BT, and Sky Sports this evening. And I think the one on BT or TNT has just started. But there I am, virtually, phoning in. But it was great. Captain Jackson or not, no. Like, please just Captain Haaland. Please just Captain Haaland. I know I have one of these things that goes round, which is captaincy, but I honestly just want to put Haaland on it every week. Sterling and Watkins or Rashford and Jackson. Sterling and Watkins or Rashford and Jackson. Probably Rashford and Jackson. Wisa or Alvarez for Pedro. Rashford or Diaby for Maddison. I wouldn't sell Rashford or Diaby for Maddison for a -4. I would sell João Pedro and I probably would buy Visa as a better longer term. Who to bench, Rashford or Eze? Oh, that's tough. I'll probably bench Rashford because I really fancy Eze this week. You have Gabriel on your bench. Do I sell and try to pick up Diaz? Which defender do I suggest? Diaz is good, but Diaz is good, but if you're not going to start Gabriel this week, do you really need to go and buy Diaz? Because if you're not buying them this week, it shifts and you start to want to buy Newcastle assets instead. God. Sorry, those of you saying, Harry, you need to smile more. I know, I'm focused on answering your questions. I'm sorry. But my back is killing. Rashford to Maddison. You have Bruno and Buemo Saka in midfield. Only if it's your first of 2 free transfers. You've got nothing else to do. If not, I probably wouldn't be selling Rashford. Should I sell Watkins for Jackson? Would I sell Watkins for Jackson? For free, yeah. For a hit, probably not. Should João Pedro start over Martinelli? No, I'd start Martinelli. Would I take a hit for Gabriel to Diaz? It depends. Do you need Diaz to start this week? If not, then no, I wouldn't. Like if you've got a defense that looks like mine this week, I probably wouldn't do it. So Luis Diaz is a great pick, and I think when we come to, when we come to game weeks 4 or 5, then... No, not 4 or 5. When we come to game week like 7 or 8, when their fixtures become better, we will be looking at them as well. I do fancy them, yeah. I do fancy Diaz. Is probably the number one I fancy outside of Salah. So Fabrizio Romano said, João Palhinha completed 2 rounds of medical tests, took pictures in a Bayern shirt, but the deal is currently collapsing. And some people are saying that the deadline in Germany is either closed or closing. People think it closed 11 minutes ago. Now, question is if he doesn't sign and he is still a Fulham player, can they get him back? If he's gone to Germany, can they get him back for a 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow? Rashford out for Sterling, I'm not going to do it. Would I start Flecken or Areola? I feel like you've got to start against Luton. If you've got players playing against Luton, even though they're away, I feel like you need to be starting them. I feel like you need to be starting them. Fabrizio said it's closed now. Let's see what happens, because we'll know by... If they might have... Because there's that weird thing called the deal sheet, where if they've signed the deal sheet and the deal's not fully done, they get extra time. So maybe that's what's happened. But would I start Saliba, Baldock, Kabore? Probably Baldock. Everyone's saying that they're going to buy Trippier going forward, but I'm not sure I will. Let's see what happens next week. Take a hit for Baldock to Udogie and start him over a Stupinan. No, I don't think that's worth it at all. Foden out and Rashford in. No. Foden out, Rashford in. Definitely not. Keep Foden for this week. He's got Fulham at home. Sorry, I thought I read that question the wrong way around, but yeah. You're just trying to figure out what's happening with Maatsen. Yeah, so another one that's going down to the wire. Chelsea are now basically that massive mess up by Chelsea with Cucurella, because he played in the Cup the other night, which then limits how many teams you can go out to loan in, because he's now listed as Chelsea player in the competition. So now Manchester United don't want to loan him and they've gone with Reguilon. So now it looks like we're going to keep Cucurella, which now means they don't want to keep Maatsen this season. And now they're going to loan him out to Burnley, but Burnley want a buy-on clause. They want a buy-on clause, a buy clause in their loan deal. So it's all gone horribly, horribly wrong. Why we're keeping Cucurella and getting rid of Maatsen, I don't quite know. But each to their own. Your transfer plans for next 2 game week. Yeah, I'm looking at Newcastle. I'm looking at Newcastle defence. Is there a way that I can get to Trippier? Not really. I mean, I can. So that's a lie. Maddison. I mean, I can. I could do Saliba. I could do Saliba up to him. I could do that if I want Trippier and I decide that Trippier is the one that I want. I could do that. It doesn't leave me with anything to do on Jordan Pickford, but I could sell Pickford as well. But I wouldn't be able to go up to Pope is the only thing there. So Ben White to Henry or Udogie? Probably Udogie, I think. Probably Udogie. So close between those two. My dad has Henry in his team, has been loving his points, but probably would go Udogie. Start Watkins or Martinelli? Probably Martinelli. I do think that home fixture. I do think Martinelli's still a good pick. I just didn't have anything else to do in my team, and I think he'll be an issue over the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, that's what I've done. Nihao, thank you for joining as a member, as a base tier. Welcome. You get all those lovely emojis of my face. Maybe I should put one of me smiling, given that no one thinks I smile. Second free transfer to Eze to Mbuemo. Nah, I'd roll, and I just think Eze is gonna come good at some point. But I'd understand if you're in the situation where you've got him. If you're in the situation you've got him, I can understand why you'd want to sell him. Love your long-term planning. I do fancy tutorial videos? Not really. Like before the season starts, I do like a top tips for FPL, but it's not really that sort of stuff. It's more something I talk about in streams, to be honest, than actually doing a video about it. But maybe at some point I just do the video about it and just... Yeah, but I don't really. But I do a lot of long-term planning with my team. Who would I sell Watkins for? You already have Sterling. I'd still go Jackson if you can. If you don't have triple Chelsea already, I would probably still favour Jackson. I think I put in my 5 players to buy video. I think Jackson is still my number 1 forward to be buying at the moment. So Chelsea double defence. So however many thousands of transfers in for Gusto. Sorry, hiccups. However many thousand transfers in. Where am I? Game week transfer. Transfers in around 700,000 transfers in for Gusto, and Reece James is likely to be back in game week 5. I don't understand it. Well, I do get it because he got 2 assists and people will see that he's the highest scoring defender and that Reece James is currently flagged and they won't know the lengths of Reece James' injury. But he should be back in game week 5, if not game week 6. So, I mean, he might get injured again, right? Zinchenko or Cash? Probably Cash. His attacking threat is better, but I wouldn't buy either. Is Son a good differential for this week? Probably not. He's not focal to what they do anymore. Maddison is a cheaper option that is more focal to what they do. So, yeah, I just don't know. Like, I understand you want to buy differentials, but I will say this and I will say it again and again. Don't buy players just because they're differentials. Buy the players that you expect to score the most amount of points. If the player you think is going to score the most amount of points is 1% owned or 50% owned, it shouldn't matter. You should be buying the player that you expect to score the most amount of points. And it's as simple as that. Sometimes you want to play it safe and pick a higher owned player, and I get that, and I do that sometimes. But don't buy someone who's low owned just because they're low owned. If you think they're great, go for it. But I don't think that's the case with Son. His underlying data is not good enough, I don't think. So, will Akanji start? I think so, yes. You've got Sterling, sell Rashford for Maddison. I'm not selling Rashford personally. So, start March or Watkins. Probably Watkins. Start Henry or Estupiñán. Henry. Why am I not considering Bruno Fernandes as a captain? Because Haaland has Fulham at home. The only player that scares me is Foden this game week. The rest don't bother me. Foden and Alvarez is the lack of City in my team. And to be honest, Sterling as well, because a lot of people have gone with him. And it's like the big call of the week is whether you go Sterling or Maddison. And I've gone on Maddison, and let's see how it goes. What I think my team would be if I had a game week free hit, I'd probably own triple City attack. I'd have Haaland in there. I'd have Alvarez. I would have Foden. I'd drop Marcus Rashford. I'd probably drop Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Bukayo Saka. And in their place, I'd put Alvarez. I'd put Foden. And then, I don't know, another attacker. Maybe you keep one of them. Maybe you punt on another Spurs option. But something like that. Robert, thank you for joining as a member. And Nihao, will Doku start? He's in our predicted lineup, but it's very, it's him or Grealish, I think. So, yeah, I wouldn't be buying Doku. I wouldn't be buying Doku, I don't think. Please, Harry. Ben White, Henry, or Doggy. Probably Doggy. He's in my 5 players to buy video. He's the defender I'm pushing this week. If I'm asked what defender to buy, he's my number 1 pick this week. Goalkeeper is Flecken. Defender is Udogi. Midfielder is Maddison. And striker is Jackson. Hello, Cheekster. How are we doing? Good to see everyone in. Mar G, thank you for joining as a mid-tier members-only content. Again, if you guys have joined mid-tier or above, send me a message on Instagram or Twitter and I'll get added to the YouTube playlist where you get members-only streams plus members-only videos every week, plus, of course, having the group chat as well. Will Gvardiol star? He's not actually in our predicted lineup. This week. Pinnock or Stupinan this week. This week I'll start Pinnock, bench Bruno or Watkins. You can't bench Bruno. Bruno's underlying data is so good. Why Pickford, please? Because Turner is away at Chelsea and I'm not going to be starting him and I'm not using a transfer on it yet. Am I making any more transfers? I'm not set on it, but it's not 100%, but I don't think so. Is Matoma to Mbuemo worth a -4? It probably pays off at some point over the next 4 weeks. So yeah, it probably pays off at some point over the next 4 weeks. That's about all I can say, to be honest. Would I swap Grealish for Foden? If you've got Grealish, I mean, he's again not in our predicted lineup, but we don't know anything. We're not in the know. We are predicting Doku to come in and start though. He wants to see some of his players before they hit Champions League period, although the Champions League isn't that hard. So I do think that Grealish will be on the bench, so I would consider selling him, but he has looked pretty good. Can I please help me with Mitoma and Udogi or Sterling and Saliba? Mitoma for this game week only, probably Sterling, Saliba. But what do I think about Ansu Fati? Great signing. Really impressed by Brighton's business once again. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah, they continue to impress in the transfer market. As you all know, I go on holiday every summer, just after the season starts, and we come to the same place every year. And I thought, finally, given that I wear football shirts on my streams all the time, I would buy their football shirt. The question is, does anyone in the chat know? Can you want to see that? It's probably going to get green screened out. The outside of it is yellow, not purple. Let's see if anyone in the chat knows what it is. You missed a super chat. Sorry, too busy. Would I go Archer to Jackson and bench Watkins? No, I'd probably just do Watkins to Jackson, to be honest. Straight in. Mohammed knows. Well, it wasn't a very hard one. And actually, I can't tell if you know where I go on holiday or you know the shirt, one of them. You saw me on the official show today. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I came across well. I was a little bit nervous for that, but yeah, I had a sorry, just looking at I had a little bit of nerves on that, but I had a really good time as well. So sorry. One source has told Sky Sports News that they are prepared to bid up to 200 million for Mo Salah. Right. Here's a question for you all. If they bid 200 million for Mo Salah, would you accept it? Do you think they should accept it? How much do you think? Sorry. Pedro to Jackson, Matoma to Madders, is it worth a -4? Yes, probably long term, yes. Why is nobody jumping on Eze's? Fixtures are good. Palace have just looked like they've struggled. They just look like they've struggled too much. The thing is with Palace is he was great last year when there was Elise and Zaha in the team and they had so many people to mark. But now teams literally know if they mark Eze out of the game, they'll beat Palace. Deadline day is not over. No, they still have... All right, so everyone's saying yes. Right, so just put in the chat how much, like, okay, if 200 is a yes, at what point is it a yes? Like, to be honest, I think if they offered 150, that's crazy money, given he has only 2 years left in his contract and he's getting old. But I would sell him for 150 if I was Liverpool. I'd probably sell him for less. Yeah, I'd probably sell him for 150, 125, to be honest. But keep Rashford or sell. I'm keeping Rashford. 150, 150 defo. Spurs will struggle versus Burnley away this week. Oh, don't say that. Just when I've doubled up on them this week. 110, 250. Nah, there's no way. Min 200. Wow, 130. 300. 100, 175. There's such a variety. But you got to think, Harry Kane. What did Harry Kane go for? 110? And he only had a year left in his contract. Paul, thank you for joining. Send me a message on Instagram or Twitter and I'll get you added everywhere. Liverpool fan, I don't want them to, but I feel like it has to be a yes. Anything over 150 mil, really. 200 is pennies for them. They'd pay more. True, but if you got to think, right, if they paid 200 mil for Salah, you could, like, think about the rebuild that they could do going forward. It sets them up for the next 5 years. If they turn down 200 mil, I feel like they. Because the other thing is that realistically, they're not going to win anything this season, apart from maybe a cup, right? They're not going to win nothing in Europe, and they're not going to win the Prem. So the only thing is do they think keeping Salah will get them Champions League qualification, whereas not keeping Salah won't? Is that worth enough? That's the only thing to consider, because qualifying for Champions League is worth a lot of money, of course. Estupiñán or Anderson, who should I start? Who do Palace have? Probably Estupiñán. Perisic to Udogie, yes. And Matoma to Maddison. I'd probably do Matoma to Mbuemo, Yusuf. 200 mil, they can't have him until January. I mean, they'd probably accept that, to be honest. He's 31, yeah. Buy Mbappe with that. Well, this is it, right? You could 200 mil, you buy Mbappe, right? For me, they'd do it, but they'll never win the Europa League. Is that what they're in? I can't remember what they're in, yeah. They'll win the Europa League, maybe. Sorry, just as a Chelsea fan, seeing all the draws being happened over the past couple of days, it's been painful, right? For the first time in however long, not being in any European draw is painful, but could be worse. You could be a Newcastle fan with the... To be fair, the Newcastle one's interesting. I think it's really fun if you're a Newcastle fan to get that group. He's not even very good at pens. Well, that's true. That's true. Play Botman over Saliba, probably. I just don't... There's no... Like, I expect United to score. Chelsea versus Brighton... What a joke. In the cup. Yeah. Got my tickets. Am I still making any transfers? I think I'll probably roll this. Right. We have exactly an hour to go to the deadline. What are the chances? I'm going to put it in subscriber only mode as always. A little reminder. You literally have to have subscribed for 1 second to start using the chat again. We're going to try and hit 100,000 subscribers this season. But if we could get anywhere near 79,000 during this stream, that would be great. But we are 500 away. There are probably 500 of you watching who are not subscribed who could help me. But don't worry if not. I won't plug too much during this stream. Thoughts on Ansu Fati to Brighton? Matoma minutes risk? I don't think Matoma will play 10. So I do think when Europe starts, Matoma will be a risk. I do think he'll be a risk going forward. So a defender for long term. If you need them this week, it's City. If you don't, it's Newcastle from next week. So if we get the fixture ticket up and we look from, I mean, defensively, we want to have a look at from game week 5 to game week to game week 5 to game week 12. Newcastle they have the second best defensive fixture run. And if you make it relative, depending on how good the teams are, they are right up there as well. So these really are the, Liverpool we're not going to be buying because they can't defend. Although if they, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Liverpool didn't sign Paulinho. Maybe they're competing with too much money, but I'm surprised. I feel like I know they've just signed this guy from Bayern, which could have a spanner in the works if Bayern are not going to get Paulinho. But yeah. So bench Estupiñán or Braithwaite? Don't play Braithwaite. I'd play Estupiñán out of the two. Onana or Turner? Probably Onana. Expect shots on him at the weekend. Start Udogie or Trippier? Probably Udogie, but yeah. Start Sanchez or Areola? Sanchez, definitely. Actually, the home fixture. Forest have looked pretty good. Probably Areola. Luton do look pretty suspect. What is going on? There is all sorts of transfer news added onto the deadline. Do I think Diaz over Estupiñán, Eze to Rashers? I'd play Diaz over Estupiñán, yeah. And would I do Eze to Rashford from -4? No. I just play Diaz over Estupiñán. I wouldn't do that transfer. If I'm honest, my hair is sticking up everywhere. My light isn't bright enough because it's so far away. That's better, but is that better? It's right in my face and kind of blinding me, but I think that's better. You can see me a bit more clearly, if that's a good thing or bad thing. Chile to Udogie. Chile or Udogie, starting Gusto. I'd start Chile, definitely. Even if it means doubling up on Chelsea defense. Well, now it's flickering, so if you don't need to ask subs. Yeah, okay, cool. Got it. Am I making a second transfer? No, I don't think so now. How long have we got? Just under an hour to the deadline. I'm pretty happy to lock this in, I think. Unless we get news on something. My light is brighter than your future. Well, I hope it's pretty bright, so that's, you're competing with something difficult there. You're tempted to start Kabore over Saliba. Anything wrong with that? The only thing wrong with that is the fact that Luton have looked absolutely dreadful all over the pitch. Expected goals conceded, they are 4th worst in the league, and West Ham will, I think, punish them. But I don't think Saliba will. I think you're competing 2 points versus 1 point, maybe. Talk a little bit about Palmer-Jackson situation. So I've been asked a lot about this, about where I think Palmer's going to fit into Chelsea going forward. Where does it make a minutes risk? I think if you own Jackson or Sterling, you're absolutely fine. They are crucial to what we've done so far this season. I don't think it will impact them. It may be Palmer doesn't start straight away. It may be that he wants to play him in the 10. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think you should worry about Sterling or Jackson in your teams at the moment. Am I keeping both of Rashford and Foden? Yes. Are the mods still timed out? They just time each other out most of the time. Sterling for Rashford if I didn't have Jackson. If I didn't have Jackson, I may have bought Sterling over Maddison, but I didn't want to double up on the attack straight away, given that the only real performance we've seen out of that Chelsea team is against Luton. So I think we need to consider that a little bit. Play Botman or Saliba. I mean, there's not much in it, to be honest, but Botman or Saliba. I mean, probably Saliba. The expected numbers for Brighton's attack is scary good. Mark, thank you. 12 months, a whole year of memberships. Welcome and thank you. Rashford and Bruno, I'm keeping both of. Yeah. Gusto or Estupiñán. If you've got Gusto, you've got to start him. You've got to try and get as many points out of him before Reece James comes back, probably in a couple of game weeks. So, yeah. Udogie or Estupiñán, still I'd start Udogie. Botman's injured. Yeah, that's true. If you've got Botman, I don't think he'll play this week. But yeah, I'd still not play him either way, even if he was fit. Udogie or Estupiñán, yeah. Udogie, Maddison or Rashford. Maddison, but I don't think I'm selling Rashford. Like, the fixtures after this week for him are pretty good. Gabriel Jesus, I don't think he'll be necessarily thrown in yet, so I'd wait a week. Will Doku start? He quite possibly could against Fulham. It could be a great game for him. Sell Eze to Mbeumo for a -4. No, I don't think I would do that. Matoma to Mbeumo or Roll. I'd probably do Matoma to Mbeumo. Henry or Baldock to start. Henry. Estupiñán or Gvardiol. Probably Estupiñán. Is the leak that Gvardiol is benched true? So that's kind of like, I've seen the leak and I don't know whether it's right, but people are predicting that there's going to be no Gvardiol, which is why when people are asking if I start Estupiñán and Gvardiol, I would just start Estupiñán, because I think there's enough risk there that Gvardiol doesn't start this one. Weiss still a good option, Harry, as an 8th attacker for this week, even with a new Psycho strike. I think the signings that they are making is enough to put me off buying Visa as an 8th attacker. If he's your 7th attacker, fine, but there's no need to go and add an 8th attacker. 3-5-2 with Rashford or Bruno or Visa. I play Rashford over Visa. Do I sell Salah with the recent news? Stressed as you're in the top 10k, top 20k. Crazy high rank at the moment, so well done. Congratulations on that. With the Salah news, would I bench him? Would I sell him? No, I'll probably start him this week. I think the Saudi transfer window goes on until the end of mid-September, so there could be changes there. I would just hold him. Is Walker worth a punt over Diaz? He's a bit cheaper. I do think generally when Champions League starts that Walker is less nailed. I think Walker is less nailed, and I think he's less likely. I think Walker is more likely to come on as a sub as well. So I would probably still favour Diaz over Walker, but there's virtually nothing in it between them, I don't think. Would I start Diaz or Henry? If you've got a City defender that isn't called Gvardiol, who doesn't look like he's going to start, I would definitely be starting them. Please don't, understand how you're benching a City defender this week. Who's in your defence? I'd love a City defender in my defence this week, but... Estupiñán or Henry? Right, Estupiñán. With anything on Kudos? Nothing yet. Estupiñán or Henry? No, I'd play Rico Henry against Bournemouth this week. So just one thing to note as well. If you guys are not in the league, there is a link in the description which will auto join you to the league. There's also a code just above me as well. If you are not in that league, what are you doing? Because every single person who beats me in that league, I will donate 20p to charity. Currently 2,500 in that league because there are so many people in it, meaning I'm donating almost £500 to a charity called Mind, which is for mental health, particularly in the UK. So if you aren't in that league, and you've all got league spaces, I'm sure, just go and join it. It's a nice one to have because there's lots in it and you can track very easily about whether you've had a good or bad game week with engaged managers because you'll go up or down on it. And it's a way to raise money for charity. The other thing to note is that if I do really well, there is a minimum donation of £200 or £100 to charity in that league. So make sure you're in it before the deadline, but you can continue to join all throughout the season. Is Kyle Walker worth the punt over Diaz? We've done. Is Pep the hard mode final boss of FPL? Yes. Along with... it's Pep, yeah. I was going to say it's along with De Zerbi, but no, Pep's the worst. Choose 2, Maddison, Foden, Sterling. I wouldn't own... for 1 week, I drop Maddison, but to own long term, I drop Foden. Matoma to Maddison or Pedro to Alvarez. We'll bench Matoma if I get Alvarez. I do Matoma to Maddison. It's better for your team long term. Archer or Pedro. I'd probably play Pedro. He's on penalties, right? You have Foden, no Mbuemo. You want to bring in either Maddison, Sterling, or Mbuemo. Can I rank in order? Mbuemo, Maddison, Sterling, probably. You have Jackson, especially as well. Gvardiol or Saliba. Apparently Gvardiol doesn't start, so I'd probably play Saliba. But there are only rumours on City. It's nothing more. It's only rumours. It is nothing more. Let me put it in the... Let me put the... Where is it? Beat Harry Members League. Invite people. Here's the auto join link for that league. Auto join link for that league is in the chat for you. If you just click that, it should join you into the league. And the code is at the end of the link as well, R0E, but it's above me as well, so you can just click that. There you go. That's the code up on screen now as well, if you want to join while it's there for you. Bulldog to Udogie from -4, worth it? I don't think so. Get yourselves in for sure. Watkins or Rashford? Probably Rashford. I think if they play a Party up against Rashford, I think it could be a difficult day for Party. Harry, do I prefer Luis Diaz to Maddison for a -4? Luis Diaz to Maddison for a hit? No. I think there would be chances for Luis Diaz against Villa. So no. Gabriel replacement. Udogie, Rico Henry, Chilwell. And then if you don't need them this week, it's Newcastle defensively. But let's see how long Botman's out for. But apparently Botman's going to be back in game week 6 at the latest. Botman and Reece James are both game week 6 at the latest, if not game week 5, in terms of return. So that's what we're hearing at the moment anyway. My planned transfer, I'm probably going to roll my second transfer. Well, I am going to roll it. I'm not going to make a second transfer, I don't think. You can't sell Martinelli. He's a fine pick for this week. There'll be chances for him as well. It's an absolute fine pick. I just think going forward, right? So let's look. When I say it's fine now, but bad going forward, right? So their next fixtures, Everton away, Spurs at home, Bournemouth away, City at home, Chelsea away, Sheffield United. Like those run of fixtures to game week 11 are more than 50% bad, which is probably a good estimate about good or bad fixture run, right? More than half of these fixtures are bad, right? Man United at home, Spurs at home, City at home, Chelsea away, Newcastle away. In 8 fixtures, 5 of them are bad. Plus they've got Champions League to start, and it feels like one of those things where Martinelli's minutes will be really managed when there's Champions League. Start Bulldog over Estupiñán. No, I'd probably play Estupiñán still. Stick with Son for one more week. I'd only sell him if you have a free transfer. Ward-Prowse over Rashford. I feel like if you've got West Ham players, you have to play them this week. If you've got West Ham assets, you've got to play them this week. So Matoma for James Ward-Prowse, can swap him out with 2 free transfers. I don't think Ward-Prowse's explosivity and upside is big enough to do that this week, Harry, to be honest. So no, I just go wherever you were going to go from Ward-Prowse. I just go straight there. So I do Matoma to, I don't know, whoever you're missing in your midfield. I just go straight there. I don't think it's worth an extra transfer, even if you have 2 transfers over the break. Look at Sarr stats. Yeah, Sarr in midfield for Spurs does look really good. The issue is everyone's playing a 5-man midfield at the moment, so having Sarr doesn't really work for a lot of us. Start Henry or Estupiñán. I'd probably play Henry. Maybe. Let me on. Oh, the things going around in the corners have stopped, haven't they? Pedro, sorry, so we want to start. I'd start Watkins over Pedro. I'd start Pedro over Pedro over Henry. Henry over Estupinan. Estupinan. Where do I put Udogie? Estupinan. Then probably Saliba there. Tell me in that rotation coming round which players I've missed. Who have I missed? Is there anyone you think I've missed? Jackson or Sterling? I think like Sterling's great, but he takes up a midfield spot, which makes it a bit more difficult. Eze or to Sterling for a -4. Yeah, I probably would do that. Udogie and for Gabriel. Start Cash or Saliba. Cash is the next one. I'd probably put him above. Oh, Gvardiol. I mean, it depends if we think if he's going to play or not. I'm going there just based off the rumours, but would I start Luis Diaz or Foden? Definitely start Foden if you've got him this week. Playing the worst team in the league. Eze scores brace this weekend, confirmed. Very possible. Although Wolves are no mugs. Wolves have been pretty good so far this season. Eze to Maddison on free transfer. Yes, I probably would. Watkins or Henry should all be in my rotation thing coming around in the corner. Start March or Rashford. Rashford is definitely one I would start. Any Colwell news? Yeah, Colwell's fine. He literally said he kicked the ground. Huge fan. Thank you, Matt Jenkins. Would I do Gvardiol to Diaz for a -4? No, absolutely not. The best case scenario is that they break even in that situation. The worst case scenario is that they break even in that situation. Eze to Mbeumo or Sterling. Eze to Brian Mbeumo or Sterling. Eze to Mbeumo. Probably Mbeumo. I think he's top of my players to buy on the next screen. Yeah. Flecken, the points master. Flecken looks great, to be honest. Gabriel to Henry. Yes, I would do. Henry's right up there with defenders to buy. -4, Martinelli to Sterling. Gusto to Kabore. Already own Foden and Maddison. Martinelli to Sterling. Gusto to Kabore in order to get Sterling, and doesn't feel worth it. So no. Or roll and play Martinelli, probably. Roll and play Martinelli. Rashford to Mbeumo for a -4. No, definitely not. Jacob, thank you for joining as a mid-tier member. Again, if you are not in the WhatsApp chat or you don't have access to the YouTube playlist where you have weekly members-only live streams and weekly members-only game week reviews as well of all the games I go through and talk about them from an FPL perspective as well. So 2 bonus things plus all the WhatsApp stuff as well for members. Jelly, thank you for the super chat. You left no comment. Jen, welcome in. Harry, is Akanji fit? Yes, he's predicted to start for Manchester City this game week. Watkins or Eze on the bench. You can't bench. If you've held Eze this long and you're not going to sell him, I feel like you have to start him against Wolves. I mean, you don't have to, but you kind of have to. And Mbeumo to Sterling for free. And Mbeumo out? No. No, like I don't need to know the rest of that. And Mbeumo out is, not a transfer I particularly want to make. Yeah. What to do with a Charlison? Not in the bank, 1 free transfer, just roll. Charlison, not in the bank, 1 free transfer. I think he probably starts this one, but he's probably a player you need to look at selling over the international break. You could hope he starts the next 2, right? But which is... Sorry, I need to... Yeah. You could hope he starts Burnley and Sheffield United and then sell him when they have Liverpool United. That's probably what I would do in your situation. Who's a bench between Rashford, March and Visa? Probably March. Start 3, Saka, Mbeumo, Jackson, Alvarez. You have to bench Saka in that situation. Yeah, I think you have to bench Saka in that situation. I can't believe it, but I think you have to. Jelly, thank you for the super chat. You still left no comment. Let me look out for your comment in the chat. Just leave a question in the chat. Don't worry about super chatting. Would I be planning to use the wild card? Probably game week 8 or 9, if not saving it right up until Christmas. Please include Bulldog in that bench ranking. True that. Bulldog. It's going in there. I should really have a fancy graphic for starting and benching, but I don't. Maybe I could make one and put it on the... Yeah. I'll have a think. Nunes or Watkins? Nunes or Watkins? If I had to own one this week, I'd probably play Watkins. I'd probably play Nunes, but I don't love him as an asset going generally. I think the rotation is still too much of a worry there. Bench 1 this game week. Sterling, Foden, Mbeumo, Madders, Bowen, Jackson, Haaland, Visa. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your front 8. Like, probably Visa. Probably Visa is the one I'd bench. You have Saliba, Estupiñán, and Chilwell, and 2 4.0 defenders. You want to upgrade defenders with a transfer. Saliba out for who? Or get Udogie for rotation? I'd get Udogie for rotation. I think the idea of going in with a 3 with 2 4.0s is not working very well. The rotations look really nice that you can get some of your defenders. So I would probably start that off with your team. Rashford to Maddison on a free transfer, or would I roll? I'd probably roll. Let me... Alvarez in for a -4 for Archer. I don't know who you're going to bench, to be honest. So, probably not. Yeah, I mean, it depends who you're benching, right? It depends who you're benching. Chaël, I've got your question. Gusto to start or Estupiñán? You donate €2 already. Thank you. I'd start with Gusto if you've got him. João Pedro for Rashford due to Welbeck and Ciso injury. Would I start João Pedro over Rashford? No, I'd still start Rashford over João Pedro. I'd still start João. Still start Rashford over João Pedro. Cash or Young? To buy Cash to start this week, probably Young. What am I waiting for the transfer? I'm not going to make a transfer this week. I'm going to roll the second one. Someone posted. I've seen enough people posting about Newcastle. Makes me want to go with Pope in my team, but I can't do that until about game week 6 when their fixtures turn. So I don't need to do it this week. Reminder again, if you haven't joined the league that is donating money to charity for every single person that beats me at FPL this season, if you fancy your chances in beating me, it's just another league. Nice to have everyone in the same league as well that watches the streams. The code is up above me, or you can join the link in the description as well. Link in the description or the link in the chat is what I mean. Maybe I should just pin it. Probably the easiest thing to do. Cool. Where do we get to? How long have we got? Watkins or Martinelli? Probably Martinelli. Eze or Visa? Probably Eze. You've got to keep him. Thanks, Jen. If I'm not answered your question, I'm not deliberately ignoring your question. I do my best to answer every single question. I'm going to put slow mode up because I can't get to everything. But I do not deliberately ignore anyone's questions at all. Danish, thank you for the super chat. Just leave your comment in the chat. Yeah. and I will get to it. Thoughts on starting Areola over Edison this week? No, please start Edison. Start every Man City player you have. Who do I start? Stupinan and Udogie. There should be a rotation thing coming on screen in about 15 seconds, which has the ranking for all of your defenders. If you are watching and you are asking a question about rankings of defenders, midfielders, there is a rotation ranking coming on screen in 3, 2, 1. Have a look at that in the top right hand corner. That hopefully answers a lot of the questions that you have. If it doesn't, then put them in the chat. Saliba or Baldock is up there. Would I start Trippier or Estupinan? Probably Estupinan. When's the best game week to wildcard? Probably game week 8 or 9. If not, just holding it later on, to be honest. Depends if Salah goes or stays. Depends if we're going to need the big money transfer to go and find a way to get Salah into our teams or not. Yeah, 2 free transfers. Should I replace Martinelli and Rashford? I've had exactly the same, but I decided to only do 1 transfer. So I've only done Martinelli to Maddison. I don't think the other one's necessarily worth it. You can confirm Luis Sinistera is set to join Bournemouth. Interesting signing. Those people asking about, does the mini league count? Yes. So it's set to just start from your points from the very beginning of the season. So even if you join 3 game weeks in, it will still have it will still add your points that you scored so far this season. Do I think Salah will leave? If they're offering 175 million, yes, I do. But I think they'll hold out for as much money as they can get. Do I reckon Akanji is starting? Yes. Henry or Estupinan, the rotation ranking has Estupinan below Henry. 1 free transfer left. Do I bring in Udogie? Currently have Gabriel Short, yes. With Gabriel Short and Kabore, yes. Bring in Udogie. Yeah. Bring in Udogie this week and then probably a Newcastle defender next week. Gabriel to Udogie this week and then Shaw to Botman or Trippier next week. Does look quite nice. Sterling in for Rashford or roll the sub. I'm rolling the sub. I'm rolling the transfer. I'm rolling the transfer personally. Raw, 1 free transfer left. Do I bring in Udogie? Yeah, that's your defence. We've done that one. Whom to sell? Matoma or Martinelli? I mean, both probably need to go at some point over the next couple of weeks. If I needed to sell one this week, I think Martinelli's a better pick than Matoma this game week. So I'd sell Matoma first. Play Bulldog or -4 for Udogie. I'd probably play Bulldog. Estupinan versus Colwell to start. Estupinan versus Colwell. Colwell, I would start. So I had to suddenly think whether Colwell was available, and we have heard that he's fine. Martinelli to Foden, Sterling or Mbuemo. Probably Mbuemo. Like, Foden's probably the best for this week, but I think Mbuemo's still a great pick going forward. Rashford or Fernandes to Bowen for a 1 week punt. No. Connor, no. Is the bench ranking ordered from top to bottom? No, top is start, bottom is bench. Top is start, bottom is bench. Matoma or Watkins? I'll probably start Watkins. So Watkins, let me put that in. Oh, it doesn't all fit. Right, well, have to do. That will have to do. It didn't all fit. Is Mbuemo in from Matoma worth it for a -4? It probably pays off long term, to be honest, so I probably would get it done. Probably would get it done. I'm sticking with Pickford. I'm sticking with this team this week. Was Sterling a fluke last week? I mean, he did play Luton, right? You do need to remember that he doesn't play Luton every week. Doesn't play Luton every week, does he? So... Cheers, Harry. You could not decide between Watkins or Matoma. That sorts you out. Go for it. Thank you. Been watching you for 3 seasons now, and I've only just entered your league. Get in the league in the description if you want to help raise money for charity. Or when I beat you all, we'll just donate £100, which is the minimum, because I'm going to beat you all this season. You're not going to get anywhere near me. Am I doing Pickford to Flecken? No, I'm rolling the transfer. Decided to roll the transfer because actually the goalkeeper that I want is Nick Pope. Goalkeeper that I want is Nick Pope. Mbuemo to Sterling for free. Do not sell Mbuemo, please. Udogi in for a Saliba for a -4. No. Can you not sell one of the other defenders instead and keep Saliba to help the rotation? Uh-oh, accidentally sold Saka to Maddison. Meant to be Martinelli. What would you do? I'd probably hold it this week because I still think Martinelli's a good option this week. And then reassess over the international break. Callum Hudson-Odoi to Nottingham Forest. Confirmed. They've just announced it. God, so much going on for Chelsea. Conor Gallagher will remain at Chelsea this summer after being priced out of a move to Tottenham. Cole Palmer trained today ahead of the game tomorrow. Trevor Chalobah to Bayern Munich is off. God, Chelsea are busy today. Anyway, what's my reasoning behind Baldock over Estupiñán? Everton look pretty poor. Am I on TV? Wait, go on. If anyone's watching Sky Sports Premier League at the moment, send me a photo on Twitter and tag me in it, or just send it into my DMs. Abhishek, thank you for joining as a mid-tier member. Again, message me on Instagram, message me on Twitter, somewhere to get added to the group chats. If anyone's watching those channels, please do send me a photo if you see me on telly. Harry on Sky Sports. Love it. I'm on Sky currently. Someone, if it's on, can you take a photo of it? Can you actually take a photo of it and send it to me? Or tag me in it? I'm buzzing. I can't watch it though because I'm streaming. Got to answer your questions. Right. Hope you're well. Would I play Baldock or Kabore? I played Baldock. Let me send my family a text. Just 1 sec. A little bit of self-indulgence, I apologise. Will I use the free transfer? No, I'm going to roll it. Nobody watches TV anymore. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's all about those streams, isn't it? All about YouTube. Ward-Prowse or Jackson. Jackson. I got glasses on in Sky Sports. I do, correct. I wear glasses most of the time, but the issue is when I wear them here, they reflect the light into the camera, and I hate it during streams. Here we go. Sorry. You're my new family. Any early team news? Here we go. They're being sent them. I appreciate it, guys. Those of you who've sent them to me. Cheers, guys. Start Trippier or a Stupinan? Probably a Stupinan. Start Gvardiol or Stupinan. Gvardiol is bottom of the list because apparently he's not going to start. But I am going off. Leaks that we don't actually know how reliable they are. Dilbert, I don't understand you ask this every time and I don't get it. Please can you explain it to me? Asked a few times on WhatsApp. Your defence is, sorry Roy, your defence is Gabriel, Estupinan, Chilwell, Bulldog and Kabore. Should I do a hit for Gabriel to Udogi? Yes, I probably would. I think your defence needs it. Am I locked in? Yeah. And my team's not changing. Benching, Saliba, yes. He's not going last on my bench, actually. Rashford or Visa? Rashford or Visa? I play Rashford out of the two. Visa's goals have been good, but they've been things that like it's very difficult to recreate. So yeah, that's why I'm not that bullish on Visa actually anymore. Sorry, so much going on. Bench one, Sterling. Watkins, probably Robert. Sterling, Bruno, Eze or Watkins. I'd bench Watkins. Thoughts on Rashford captaincy? Like, it's just got to be a Haaland captaincy, right? Please. Normally in Australia, but currently in England. So, loving being live for once. Help me, please. What do I do with Richarlison? I'd probably play Richarlison over the next two and then sell him going into the Liverpool and Arsenal fixtures. Is probably what the sensible thing to do is. Odegaard out, Eze in. Thanks. Eze's probably not my top midfield transfer target. The top players to buy will come up in a minute. And there are several midfielders I favour over him. If you don't have the money for them, though, then Eze's a fine pick. Good day, Harry. You have Rashford and Son. Ooh. Who would I take out? And would it be Sterling or Maddison? Son out straight away. And I'd probably go Maddison. So I'm saying Son to Maddison and you're saying you want to do Rashford to Sterling. I personally would do the other, but presume start Ollie over Estupinan. Yes. Sterling or Maddison's the big question of the week. Let me put it in the chat again. We did it at the beginning. Let's do it at the start of poll. Clicking buttons on my phone. Sorry, start poll. There we go. Let's see what you say on that one. I just knocked my light. Oh gosh. It's going to be a great screenshot that. Someone on my face. Onana or Turner. I'd probably play Onana. I expect more saves for him, to be honest. What's the source of Gvardiol benching rumour? That same City guy, but he just retweeted something. He didn't tweet it himself. Sorry, right. I'm focusing. Martinelli to Mbuemo for a -4. Probably not worth a -4, no. Areola or Onana. I'd probably play Areola. Richie to Maddison. If you've got a spare transfer, but I don't think you need to do it this week. Wait, what are you screenshotting? It was just me when I went like that because there was my light collapsed on me. But anyway, Baldock or -4 for Chilwell. If you don't have any Chelsea defence, I think it's worth it. Any early team news for West Ham? No, we don't have any yet. Nothing on Kudus yet. Martinelli and Rashford to Maddison and Sterling. I haven't done Rashford to Sterling. I've done the other transfer. Martinelli to Maddison, free transfer or roll? I'd probably do that for free. I did that transfer. Is Gvardiol benched? Rumours are, but it's not nearly as reliable as normal. It's just like hearsay at the moment. So if you've got Gvardiol, you might want to play him. He doesn't make defensive subs really. Not tempted to get Sterling in the next few minutes. Probably not. Nottingham Forest have signed Divock Origi. Deadline day transfer. Nottingham Forest are going crazy on deadline day. Again. Nottingham Forest have about 35 players again. They sold them all and they bought 35 new ones. Crazy. Mbuemo captain, what do I think? No, he's my vice captain to be fair, but it's not going to be my captain. Not going to be my captain this week. Why Saliba benched? Because I don't think he'll keep a clean sheet this week. Who's to start, Saka or Alvarez? You've got to start Alvarez if you've got him. Would I do Matoma to Mbuemo? Yes, I would. Am I making any other transfers? I don't think so. Right, this light is... Stay. I can't wait to be home and have my proper stuff. Wisa or Alvarez for João Pedro and -4. Probably Alvarez there. Because Visa looks okay, but his underlying data isn't great, and the chances he's scoring are not ones that can be easily replicated. As Alvarez, I think when he starts, his minutes should be good, and he can return well, so I probably would go there. Would I sell March for Sterling? Also thoughts on Diaby. Sell March for Sterling? Yes, I would. And Diaby looks a great asset, but only in about game week. Game week 6 or 7 is probably when we're going to start targeting them. Odegaard for Maddison, yes. Odegaard and Martinelli are sells. Actually, Odegaard is... it depends what formation they play, right? They could go back to their old setup. Yes, if you're not in that league code that is up there, Yusuf just sent the code in the chat, and I will do the same. But, yeah, make sure you're in this by the time the deadline comes around. I need to upgrade some emojis. Let me know what players you want emojis for in the chat. Because at the moment I still have like Solanke, but start a Stupinan or Tarkowski, probably a Stupinan. Bowen captain, not over Haaland, no. Wildcarding and got Saliba, better options, probably yes. I'd probably, if I was wildcarding, I would have Chilwell, Udogie, Rico Henry, maybe a City and a Newcastle, maybe a Botman and a Gvardiol, but then Gvardiol's not going to start this one, but he is good going forward. Maybe Walker instead of Gvardiol then. Stick Wisa or Rashford, I'd start Rashford. How long have we got? We have 15 minutes to go until the deadline. We want more of me. All right, just loads of emojis of my face. Fine, I will get that done. Is a Kanji fit to start? Yes. Will I be using your free transfer? No. No. I won't. I need to tweet it out as well. But please, Harry, Martinelli to Maddison for a -4. It depends if you need your free transfer over the international break. If you don't need your free transfer over the international break, then you can wait a week. But if you are planning a move over the international break anyway, then just do it for a -4 this week. Been following you since last year. Love your content. I appreciate it. Thank you for the nice words in the chat. There's no question as well. Your efforts say, oh, cheers, mate. I appreciate it. I'm on holiday. If there's no reason, we're about 100 likes away from 1,000. I'm on my last day of my holiday and I'm streaming for 2 hours until 8 or 7:30 in the evening before I go out. So if that's not a reason to like the stream and subscribe, then I don't know what is. Watkins or Mitoma. I'd probably sell Mitoma, and keeping Watkins is fine. Keeping Watkins is fine. What about bench Estupiñán for Romero? I probably would, because Udogie's above him, so Romero's probably there, and he does have attacking threat as well. Estupiñán or Henry? Henry over Estupiñán. I'm playing Henry, Chilwell, Bulldog. Who should I bench and play Saliba or Estupiñán? I'd play Henry, Chilwell, Bulldog. Probably looking at my ranking, that's probably the way I would go. But yeah. Martinelli to Maddison. Tick. Rolling the... Good luck, everyone. Hashtag Team Maddison. Cool, right. So, Johnson or Areola? Johnston or Areola? Areola, probably. You've got to play your West Ham keeper if you've got one. Will I do Pickford to Flecken finally? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be rolling the transfer. I think Flecken might outscore Pickford this week, but I still think that going forward, I want Pope as my goalkeeper. So, that's the plan anyway. Sorry, I didn't blink again. I'm going to suck for Superman Halls, though, with the ownership. I mean, I'm starting him, but I just think Newcastle looks so great going forward. Your girlfriend wants to transfer Pau Saliba for Henry. What do I recommend? I'd probably sell Saliba. Yes. Are you doing any more transfers? I think probably not. Goalkeeper transfer. Again, I think I would probably make points if I sold Pickford, but the goalkeeper I want is not the goalkeeper I would buy if I was buying this week. So I am going to roll the second transfer. Bruno Fernandes to Sterling. No. Bruno Fernandes' underlying data is some of the best in the league at the moment. So no, I wouldn't do Bruno Fernandes to Sterling. No. Am I making another transfer? No. What does Harry say about Gvardiol? There are rumours that Gvardiol is not starting, but there's not loads that we can go off here, to be honest. When am I going to wildcard? I'm aiming about game week 9, but I'm not set on it. I'm worrying about Trippier. I think he could be useful at last season. Yeah, but with that Champions League group, it's less of a risk, I think. What's my rank expectation for the end of the season? As always, based off my ranks of the past 3 seasons, which are up above you in a minute, of 3.8 thousand in the world, 1.3 thousand in the world, and 510th in the world. I'm going to try and finish inside the top 10k for a 4th season in the row. Consistency is king, and I'm hoping I can do that again this week. Let me know your rank aims as well in the chat. I'm going to do some quick fire questions for the final 10 minutes before the deadline, but let me know what you're aiming to get in rank this season. Colwell or Bulldog? Start Colwell. Andy brought in Sterling. He couldn't be seen to be copying you again. I knew he was going to. Ross, he copied Ross instead. Start Eze or Watkins? Eze. Start Bulldog or Saliba? Bulldog. Visa or Luis Diaz? Visa. Those of you asking about benchings, there will be a benching thing that comes up in the corner now. So look at that as well. Transfer Salah in case he leaves. I'd keep him for this week. Estupiñán or Cash? Estupiñán. Top 10k. Captain other than Haaland? No. Haaland captain. I'm not going to even recommend it. 50k at least. Start Saliba or Bulldog? Bulldog. Am I making a transfer? No. Is it crazy to stick Onana one more game week? No, he should make some saves, but I don't think he will. Yeah. Can't remember what the question was now. No, I'm not making a transfer. I'm locked in. Ka-ching. Is Bowen going to start? He should do. Leicester Andy has gone with Sterling. I know he has. Suddenly, I mean, the transfer's done, right? So I can't do anything about it, but the transfer is done. I can't do anything about it. Iwobi going to Fulham. Fair enough. Sanchez or Turner? Sanchez, definitely. A home to Forest. Cash or Henry for the longer term? Henry. Because Cash will get rotated when there's Europe. Diaz or Stupinan? Diaz. Bulldog or Pinnock? Pinnock. Watkins to Jackson for a -8 or keep. I'd probably do Watkins to Jackson for a hit. Watkins to Jackson or Rashford to Sterling. Probably Watkins to Jackson. Why Rashford? I'm still happy to keep him on the left. I still think he could do well up against Partey next week. Start Henry or Stupinan. Henry, they're all up in the corner though. What about Conor Gallagher? Apparently he's going to Spurs still. You're playing Henry, Chilwell, Bulldog. Who should I bench and play Saliba or Stupinan? No, I'd play Henry, Chilwell, Bulldog. Foden to Maddison, free transfer. No, keep Foden, definitely. Do I read out your super chat? Spent £5 for nothing. I'm really sorry. Gavinho, no, I do. I must have missed it. Hi, Harry. I've used your one free transfer on Martinelli to Maddison. Great. 1.7 in the bank. Do I go Mitoma to Sterling, Onana to Flecken, or roll? I'd probably sell Onana. I'd probably do Onana to Flecken. Keep Mitoma one more week and sell Mitoma over the international break. If I miss your super chats, it's not on purpose. So please do shout at me in the chat as much as you want. And tag all the mods and tag me as well, because I shouldn't be missing any super chats. Is Foden that risky? I think he'll start. But I think he's risky going forward. But after this week, but I think he'll do well this week. I think he could do really well. Start Henry or Rashford. Rashford. Always favour the attacker. I posted my team on Twitter. The first reply was no Sterling. Brilliant. Brilliant. Ola, how are we doing? How long have we got? 7 minutes. Onana, Mitoma, Martinelli to Areola, Foden, Maddison. Yes. Onana to Areola, Mitoma to Foden. Yeah, I probably would do that for a -4, to be honest. Vortex Elite, thank you for your super chat. Wildcarding and got Saliba. Yeah, I wouldn't have him. Cool. Sell March for Sterling. Yes, I would. Thoughts on Derby. I'd wait. Cool. All done. Am I sure about Kabore before Saliba? I mean, no. I mean, they probably should be the other way around, to be fair. But probably should be the other way around. I'm locked in now. I posted on Twitter with the defenders the wrong way around, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Start Flecken or Areola. Probably Areola. Start Henry or Gvardiol. Henry. Start Onana or Turner. Onana, but I'd probably sell Onana, but go for Bowen. I mean, he's only good for 1 week, to be honest. Duncan. So, yeah, the thing is with West Ham and Bowen is they're great for this week, but then they're basically sells going into the week after. 3-5-2 here. You've got Bruno, Rashford, Saka, Foden, and Diaz. Yes, you're nice. You know the captain, Haaland, of course. Pickford or Areola long term? Probably Areola. From game week 8, he rotates really well with Turner. So if Turner keeps his place, I don't think I'm going to have Pickford that long. I'll probably use a transfer soon on him. 5 minutes until the deadline. Correct. Be ready to lock in. Yes. Start Gvardiol or Estupinan. Probably Estupinan. Gvardiol, Udogi. You want to play Watkins, but you have Jack. I don't think you can play Watkins in that. It's either Watkins or Diaby for you, but Diaby's look great. Start Estupiñán or Rashford. Definitely Rashford, favour the attacker. Henry or Estupiñán. Henry, start Estupiñán or Cash. Estupiñán, Martinelli or Sterling. Sterling, definitely. Do I think Gvardiol will start? Apparently he's not, but there's not much to go on with that. Antonio for a 1 week punt. Not really worth it, to be honest, but not really worth it. I don't think the West Ham I think they'll win 2 or 3-0, but I don't think it's worth 1 week punts when you're going to sell them again. Why not Sterling? I want to save the second transfer. You're really hesitant on doing Rashford to Maddison, but if I don't do it this week, I probably won't do it at all. Well then, if you don't do it this week, the next 3 fixtures, then they're not great. So it's not the worst. Rashford's fixtures after this week are really nice. So why Mbeumo vice captain and not Jackson? I just think Brentford will score, but Haaland's going to play, so. Drop Salah and João Pedro for a -4. I mean, I don't know who you're buying, but probably. Unless you don't have if you have Jackson, then there's no forward I think you should take a -4 for. Then just sell. Salah instead. 2.5 minutes to go until the deadline. Okay. Watkins or the cheap Spurs defender. Watkins probably always favour the attacker in most of these situations, to be honest. Yeah. Pick the attacker in all of these situations if you haven't already. Foden, Jota start guarantee. I can't guarantee that they start, but I think they both should. Avinash, thank you for continuing to be a member for 4 months. You have 2 free transfers. Should I buy Maddison from Matoma, Eze and Roll? Yes, but you don't have long. I'd probably sell Matoma, but get that done. You only have 2 minutes left until the deadline. What about Nunes? The Liverpool front line is too difficult to predict. I wouldn't be buying him. I'm nervous about not having Sterling a little bit, yeah, but I don't. I have Jackson and I have Maddison. I'm quite happy with my team, to be honest. Rashford, Odegaard to Maddison and Mbeumo for a -4. Rashford, Odegaard to Maddison and Mbeumo for a -4. Rashford, Odegaard to Maddison and Mbeumo for a -4. No, Rashford to Maddison's not worth a -4. Just do Odegaard out. 2 minutes, you're learning from Harry. Loving Weiser since Game Week 1. Nice work. Bruno or Rashford? Bruno's a better hold for sure. Chat too late to be asking questions now. Lock in your decisions. Yeah, we're almost getting to that point. Watkins, of course. Watkins or Jackson? Jackson is better. Bruno or Saka on the bench? Bruno's a better asset than Saka. So Henry or Romero? Henry's a better asset than Romero this week. And bench Estupiñán or Udogi. Bench Estupiñán or Udogi. I'd bench Estupiñán. So that is going to be the deadline. By the time you hit this, there's not going to be enough time to answer your questions. Make sure you join the league that is in the chat. A very quick reminder that we do also have memberships as well on the channel where you can get weekly content from me outside of streams, plus getting your priority comments as well. So check above me as well in a moment if you want to check out what the memberships are. There's also, if you go onto my channel as well, and click this join button, there's a little bit of an explanation about what each of the tiers do, how much they are, etc. as well. So mid-tier is where you start to get your members only content, but that, everyone, is going to be the game week deadline. If it hasn't passed already, it will be any moment now. So no time to answer any more of your questions. If the deadline's still not passed and you can click that link and join, then make sure you are in the league to help raise a little bit of money for charity whilst playing FPL as well. If you can beat me, that is, of course. Get the lock emojis in the chat, everyone. Let's get all of these. Get the lock emojis in the chat. Game week deadline has officially passed. It is 6:30 UK time, 7:30 in Spain. From tomorrow, I'll be back in the UK. So Sunday, there'll be a video from me probably, and then we'll have a few days off as it is the international break. And then we'll be back again planning ahead for game week 5 after the international break and in the run-in for the real parts of the season. So I am going to head off. I need to go out now. Get all those emojis in the chat. If you haven't already joined that league whence it is up, thank you all so much for joining. Most of you went Maddison over Sterling. Interesting. Let's see who comes out on top this week. You flipped a coin and did Rashford to Maddison with 3 seconds to go. Good luck. I hope it pays off a little bit. Yeah, I hope Maddison does well. Anyway, that is going to be all for this stream. We'll be back next week. I don't have time to stay and chat after the stream, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support this week. Enjoy the weekend of football. Enjoy the international break as well. And then we'll be back with FPL going into game week 5. Good luck. Let's hope Maddison outscores Sterling. Let's hope for some green arrows as well. And enjoy your weekends, everyone.